Good evening. So as usual, we're all gathering at this time to do the regular chanting, recollecting the virtues of the Buddha, his purity, compassion and wisdom, and recollecting the teachings, which is inviting us to come and see and investigate, and one who practices will be able to realize the truth. And we're recollecting the qualities of the Sangha, who are trying to follow the path that leads to freedom from the suffering, worthy of respect, honoring, offering, and cultivating a good field where we can cultivate good qualities. So now this is time to practice meditation. So finding a proper, secure and comfortable and relaxed position. Practice of a meditation is to understand ourselves and also understanding others and living a life comfortably. When we think about understanding ourselves, and it's about understanding our body and the mind, knowing how body functions, knowing how our mind works. Normally we can put a rest for our body by, let's say, sleeping, or by, let's say, doing nothing and just lying down. But for the mind, it's always working non-stop. All the mental factors are working constantly, non-stop. According to the theory, it also says that even when we go to sleep, although we do not remember our dreams, mind is always working and dreaming and working on something else. So mind is constantly working or at work. Our life is basically active at all the time, non-stop. And we can't stop this mind too. According to the Buddhist philosophy, there's only person who have attained would be able to stop for some times, not for good. Would be able to stop for some time while they are alive. But again, the mind is at work. As for us, called the Putuchana, the worldly beings, those who still have greed, hatred and delusion, will never stop. Constantly thinking and doing one after another. And sometimes we even think that we can do so many things at the same time. Like we're watching a telly and eating, speaking on the phone, or reading of books, and so on. Thinking that we are multitasks people. A mind or the mental factors are always at work, working all the time, non-stop. So as a result of that, a practice of a meditation is to understand this mind. Not to stop thinking, not to stop this mind to do something, but learning. Like as I said, even the person who have attained would not be able to stop completely. Whenever they want to have a rest of their mind, rest for the mind, they will go into the deep jhanic experiences, so-called samapatti jhanas, completely shut down, not working, both body and the mind. But as soon as they come out from this samapatti jhana, their mind again works according to the theory and stories. It suggests that their mind is always at work for the service of others, the so-called compassionate service, helping others to find a way. So the theory says a person who has attained, called arhats, although they don't have to do anything for them anymore, but they will do work for others non-stop, seeing that their life is short, their life is very short, and now using that remaining time to help others to realize the reality, finding the path and working towards it. As for us, we are just the trainers. So we are training. A practice of a meditation is to train to recognize it. That how am I? Who am I? What my mind is doing? What is the purpose and what is the motivation? And oftentimes we will be thinking in two ways. One is I am exist, and another way is I am not. Whenever we have the concept of I am exist, then we will become selfish for our own good, for our own success, for our own development. So purely going into any action that one is performing is for benefit of individual rather than collective. So the individual benefit is not regarded as the real benefit according to Buddha's teachings. It has to be beneficial for one, the individual, two, to others, three, to the society, four, to the communal, not only the society that we are living, but also as whole beings on earth. Only then that regards the beneficial. And when we think in these four principles, then we will be having a concept of not from a self point of view, or so-called atta, but in an anatta way, so-called non-self. Putting ourselves as one of the existence and thinking collectively of all other things. So practice makes to understand it. understanding our own self, our own desires, our own understanding of ourselves, and meanwhile understanding others and working towards it. And some people will simply work only for the personal benefit, and others will work collectively for the benefit of oneself and then to others. A practice of a mindfulness meditation, again, sometimes they will think only for personal development, personal achievement, so that they will be separating themselves from the entire community, the society, and going away from the duties and responsibilities, purely going into that. And some would do practice meditation to live in a community quietly, harmoniously, as human beings are social beings. And one will be able to live in a society more harmoniously without any trouble. So working for personal development as well as helping others to develop. And the practice of a meditation helps us to find that balance within ourselves and into others. An ability to fulfill the duties and responsibilities without any trouble. And this all can happen beginning from knowing ourselves. Our own the good qualities and the bad qualities. So practice of a meditation is not to take away the bad things only, which is sometimes quite difficult. But regular practice, regular doing good things is basically reinforcing the good qualities that we already have in our minds. And by reinforcing good qualities in us, the rest of other bad things or bad qualities gradually fades away. It's like in our body, we have a full of all these parasites and virus, different types of diseases, always there inside our body. But we have this antibody that can fight with these viruses and these diseases, so that we feel healthy. And these qualities, these positive antibodies, can be developed through the food that we consume, the air that we breathe, the environment that we are in. So that affects our immunity system. And the moment when immunity collapses, the rest of our other diseases begins to play a part. And that's why diseases are not from outside, it's from inside ourselves. And this is same in our life. As long as we are able to understand our mind, ability to know this, ability to deal in day-to-day life, it's like we have an immunity system at hand. It's ability to tackle and deal with the different problems and situations that comes in our life. As the Buddha said, that we all are patients of mental disease. No one is free from it. The only matter is someone can deal with it, others can't. And this is a person who can deal with it because their immunity is good. Mental factors are better. And those who can't, their immunity is bad. Mental factors is not good enough. So in order to develop that inner immunity, and we have to consider of food that we eat. That basically means who do you associate with? Where do you go? How do you live your life? How conscious you are. Every action that you take, the sitting, walking, talking, are you conscious about what you are doing? And are you doing with right attitude or not? Is that for the self-benefit or individual benefit? Or is that because of a selfish? Or is it because the communal? With an open heart, open mind, with a full of kindness and compassion, you're working, you're doing. So with this, mind will be nurtured with the good qualities, positive vibes. And with that positivity nurturing the mind, you are developing the immunity within yourself. And with that development, one can live happily, in a sense that one is able to recognize things and able to rejoice and appreciate the moment that one has. So practice of a meditation is about knowing oneself, knowing our body, knowing our mind. Our mind is so conditioned. It is very difficult to train it so quickly or tame it so rapidly. As a result, we have to work slowly, small bit by bit, by associating with the wise ones, finding a place to practice, and try to be mindful of our own self. And whenever we have a chance, we practice sitting meditation. At that moment, rather than wandering all around, simply bring your mind to the moment here and now, observing the sitting body, concentrating on it. See what happens. When you're concentrating on your body, and gradually you will be able to notice that there is a breath coming in, breath going out, and due to this coming breath and outgoing breath, making you to realize some form of a sensations going on in yourself. At this moment you will have a thought about what you have done and what you want to do in the future. You'll be thinking of the worries, the issues and troubles, or what is going to be, or what if not. The sort of thoughts arises, then again, recognizing them, understanding them, and let it be. So initially, the intention is to keep the mind at one object as long as one can. Let's say the breath, incoming breath and outgoing breath at the nose or the rising, falling of the abdomen. Or simply establishing at the central of the body. This is 2 fingers up from the navel in your belly, where you will feel the sensation much of the time. So simply concentrating on settling down there, observing what's going on, or simply breathing in and breathing out, and mentally making a note of it as it comes in, as it goes out, or as it rises and falls. Consciously making a mental note. So try to be with it. So working with the breath, let's say rising, falling of the abdomen. When you breathe in, it rises, making a mental note it is rising. When you breathe out, abdomen falls, making a note of that falling abdomen. So rising, falling. As it rises, making a mental note that this is rising. As it falls, making a mental note, it is falling. Rising, falling. So that's all you have to do. Continue doing. So continue practicing until you hear the bell.